Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Tuesday, July 26th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network as Tyler, myself, Sean, and Devin eventually joined in for our chat yesterday. We discussed for the first half of the podcast Hockey Canada. Then Devin did a run in and we recap the Matthew Tkachuk trade to Florida and some of the other things that were going on in terms of who could be a sleeper in the Pacific Division. Is the Flames elite? What do you sign Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar to? So we unpack that. So check out that podcast that's up there now. And but let's go through the news of the day, and we'll start with the Hockey Canada. The Hockey Canada situation as the Standing Committee, Heritage Committee, reconvened today in Ottawa, and we'll just get some of the highlights of the day here from this. The highlights, lowlights. I don't know how you want to put this, but one of the things that came up here. We'll go through this here as we start with the lawyer, Daniel Robitaille, testified first. And the highlight of what came out of that is Hockey Canada, back when Tom Rennie and Scott Smith testified back on the 20th, they were asked how many people cooperated with the commissioned investigation. Rennie said 4 to 6. Smith said 12 to 13. Robitaille said it was 10 players that cooperated. So that was a contradiction already. And there too. So not only were Rennie and Smith inconsistent with each other, they were inconsistent with Daniel Robitaille of the lawyer there. So that was one thing that came that was pretty significant there in terms of other things that happened when Robitaille spoke. As we just go through the notes here. Let's go through here. And that was what was significant there. Then Michelle Roost and Sports Canada, they testified, and I'm going to read this directly from Rick Westhead's Twitter. Sports Canada Senior Director Michelle Roost testified his colleague Nicole Mulligan told him June 26th, 2018 about the sexual abuse allegations involving Team Canada players. Roost testifies officials in the Office of Canada's then sports minister weren't made aware of the allegations. And Conservative member MP John Nader asked Roost whether he or his colleagues, after learning of the 2018 sexual abuse allegations, followed up with Hockey Canada about the case. Roost testified that did not happen. Roost testifies that the National Sport Organization must provide a third party for complaints to approach with allegations. This is directly, again, I'm reading from Rick Westhead's Twitter. I called Hockey Canada's third-party group twice last year about making complaints, and both times they said I should contact HC. So this was not a good look for for Sport Canada, that they've been on this for 4 years, and that became a big talking point in today's conversation. Kevin Wadd was very direct, Conservative MP, very direct, and pointing a finger at what happened in Sports Canada and their lack of movement on this, saying they're just as much to blame for this as Hockey Canada is. So that was very significant and not a good look there. And Peter Julian did ask about if National Sports Organization have been required for 20 years to have independent harassment officers from planets. Julian asked if there's any system for Sport Canada to verify these following rules. And Ruth said that's what we're setting up now. So that was Pretty troubling information from Sports Canada today as well. And then Pascal St. Onge, Minister of Sport, basically called out Hockey Canada's current leadership. Talked about the action plan that was released yesterday. Questioned whether the current leadership was qualified and capable of leading the cultural change they promised coming to the organization. She started her testimony. Hockey Canada, the whole country is watching. And then that's when Kevin Waugh, you can point the fingers of Canada, Hockey Canada all you wish, and pointing the fingers of Sports Canada. And Sports Canada needs to own this. And then Nader asked St. Onge if she agrees with Sports Canada staff mishandled Hockey Canada's 2018 sexual abuse allegations. She said, while there's room for improvement, Sports Canada did what it was supposed to do there as well. So that was pretty much the news. That's pretty much that for there. There will be more tomorrow, so we'll talk about that tomorrow on the podcast as well. The other significant thing that just came down, Sheldon Kennedy just tweeted this shortly after the meeting, the hearings today, and just read this. Giving my 26 years of advocating for victims, I can't sit idle any longer. This is a statement. The same people with a new plan expecting different results is the definition of insanity. I call for the resignation of Hockey Canada CEO Scott Smith, his leadership team, and the board of directors to resign and step down from their positions immediately. Enough is enough already. So he is calling for a house cleaning of Hockey Canada. So not only Scott Smith, he's pointed at the leadership team. He pointed at the board of directors. So Rennie and Smith are scheduled to be part of tomorrow. I think that's going to be a fairly hotly contested conversation that will start. Hearings actually start at 11 Eastern, so it looks like that will be the start time for tomorrow as well. Other news, of course, the Jake Virtanen trial has been going on in Vancouver for the past week, and he has been found not guilty for sexual assault. And he declined any comment as he left the court, and his lawyers as well. He was charged back in January of sexual assault in connection with the incident in downtown Vancouver hotel room in September 2017. He told the court last week that the woman accused of assault was an enthusiastic participant in the encounter. And excuse me. So that's what that is at. And she posted the story back in April 2021. She did not go to the police at the time for survived as a sexual assault. She spoke with a reporter from Glacier Media for her newspaper story, naming Virtanen as a man who had allegedly sexually assaulted her and launched a civil lawsuit against him. So that's the other news today, about Jake Virtanen there. Dustin Brown got some good news today. As we'll move on to some of the signings that have happened here. Take a tough turn, but we'll take it here as Brown will have a statue. He'll join Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Chick Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, Elgin Blair, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal to have a statue around Crypto.com Arena, Staples Center in LA. Luke Robitaille said that Brown has been a standout in the Southern California community and set the courses for a franchise. This is indeed a very well-deserved honor, and I look forward to an incredible celebration. They will retire his number 23, February 11th, 2023. Dustin Brown has played, he was drafted 13th overall in that 2013 entry draft. And he played with the Kings since 2004. And last season, he retired with 9 goals, 19 assists, and 28 points in 64 games with the Kings. Jesse Puljujarvi signed a contract today. They voided arbitration, 1 year, $3 million. Now, according to Puckpedia, Oilers are 3.7 over the cap with 20 players. Clefbaum and Smith are going on long-term. Clefbaum 4.16. Smith 2.6. Have 2.67 available. Next up, August 7th, an arbitration hearing with Kyler Yamamoto. So we'll see what happens there, as Jesse Puljujarvi is still some questions if he's with the Oilers or not next season. Some questions that Puljujarvi wants out. Some questions that the Oilers are ready to move on. Oiler fans are divided on what to do with Jesse Puljujarvi at this point. Some really want him to stay. Some are not sure. Some will say that when I say that, fans, the media part of Oilers media is more not on the side of Puljujarvi, but that's where we're at this particular point with Puljujarvi. He does sign the contract, signed for 1 year. So another opportunity to prove himself. It's a prove-it contract for Jesse, and we'll see what he does. 14 goals, 22 assists, and 36 points last year. 15, 10, and 25 in their shortened season last year, and the Oilers as well. So maybe a big step for Puljujarvi next year. And then David Quinn spoke today to San Jose media as he was introduced as the new coach of the San Jose Sharks. And so we go through some of the highlights of that conversation here. I'm just pulling this up. He's having to, Quinn says he's having some text conversations, hoping he's talked with everyone yet. A lot of talk about accountability from both Quinn and the new GM, Mike Greer. He was there as well. Of course, he was asked about being a reputation he's hard on younger players. He said that was the first he's hearing of that, wants to be demanding but fair. Greer says they're going to try to push and try to make the playoffs. If they don't, we know we've been competitive all season long and put in the effort that we can be proud of. Quinn also said the beauty of our situation, J-Mac played for me from 2004, 2009. So the fact we have a previous relationship will make the Barracuda one relate. Any decision he will make will be well informed. We'll get to J-Mac in a section. And Greer says that he knows how to get the best out of his players. He knows how to manage his best players. He believes in some of the developed principles that I believe in. As dealing with players, you have to manage personalities, know when to stay on top of guys and when to back off. You want to put them in a position to have the most success. Sometimes you have to be hard, and sometimes you have to lay off. And they want to play an up-tempo, aggressive, and ultra-competitive style of play. And the one other note today, it came out so far, and just one more thing here, and it looks like we talked about that. The other news today was around Arizona Coyotes. John Madden will be a new assistant coach under Andre Tourigny, three-time Stanley Cup winner with the New Jersey Devils. He will be with that team as well, and he served as a San Jose assistant coach from 2020 to 2022, and he spent 3 seasons with the head coach of the Cleveland Monsters from 2016-2019. 100 and wins, 99, 19 and 9 record in 3 seasons, including an appearance for the second round of the Calder Cup of 2018-19. And that is pretty much the news of the day. As we, of course, by the way, J-Mac, John McCarthy, by the way, is the next head coach of the San Jose Barracuda. By the way, that's who David Quinn was mentioning too. I wanted to get that in before we closed off here. But that's the news for the day. You can follow us all on Twitter. Tyler, TNOBLE, Sean, Beardy Canuck 03, Chris Schneid's, SCHNEIDZ, Devin Gordhow 09. I am KEVULE, Shifts and Pucks on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.